We're back. It's Sovereign Minds,
The podcast.
And I'm here in the studio with Leslie Sawyer once again. My sister should be back, I believe, on the next one. She's taking a hiatus, and she's on assignment, as they say, and so we kind of miss her. But here we are once again, and it is July 25th, 2025, and we're brought to you from by Mountaintop Media down here in the epicenter of freedom. And I'll tell you what, this is so appropriate, the title of our podcast today. This is podcast number 147. Excuse me if you're keeping track. And this is the Fruits, Nuts, and Flakes, or the Crazy Train. Yeah, go ahead. Play.
Well, no, if we play too much more, YouTube might censor us.
Oh, okay, never mind. All right, so where do we start? I mean, should we start with? Oh my gosh, the kill switch. I guess, is that where we're going to start?
Yeah, I think that's where we start. If you poll the audience, people are freaking out about Epstein. Should we be mad? Should we not be mad? What's going on? But I mean, we came across this. We have no way of vetting it to know if it's authentic.
Yeah, we're not sure how true this is. It could be true. And if it is, maybe more stuff's coming out. I don't know. We just thought we'd play it because the title of the show is Fruits, Nuts, and Flakes, or the Crazy Train. And I think this is probably part of the Crazy Train.
Right.
On the Epstein stuff. But go ahead and play it, Leslie, and then let's move on.
If you're watching this, it means they got me. My dead man switch activated automatically after I missed 2 scheduled check-ins. I had it set up months ago because I knew this day was coming. I did not die by accident. I was murdered to keep their secrets buried. My name is Virginia Louise Giuffre. I was one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. I survived Little St. James, but survival came at a price. I saw too much, knew too much. And now they've silenced me. But it's too late for them. They thought killing me would bury their secrets, but this video is going to a few organizations I trust, ones that have been exposing the truth for decades. You know who you are. It's your job to continue this fight. I was 16 when they reeled me in. I worked at Mar-a-Lago, folding towels, cleaning lockers. My father kept the tennis courts immaculate. We were just working folks trying to scrape by. Trump, he was around, but he was never the threat. The real predator was Ghislaine Maxwell, prim and proper, smiling, promising to teach me massage therapy at the Pink Mansion in Palm Beach. I had no idea I was being fed into a nightmare machine. Epstein's Island was hell disguised as paradise. You've heard some names linked to him, but those are just the sacrificial pawns. The real players, the ones they've protected at all costs, are still hiding in plain sight. I'll name 2 now. The first, a former U.S. President, Barack Obama. Publicly, he's revered. Privately, he was one of the worst. He wasn't there for the girls. He was there for the island boys. Young boys, trafficked and groomed. I saw him more times than I can count, always without his Secret Service detail, sometimes with his Hollywood friends, George Clooney and Tom Hanks. I still have nightmares about them, arrogant and drunk on power, slinking into the cabanas with kids barely out of childhood. The second, Bill Gates, the billionaire philanthropist, loved by the media, hailed as a savior. We called him the benefactor, and we used to dread seeing him naked. But he didn't come to party. He came to experiment. Genetic experiments, human experiments. I saw him inject a young girl with something they said was a genetic enhancement. She was younger than me, strapped to a table, terrified, treated like a lab rat while they muttered about seeding the future of the species. These men think they are gods, playing with life like it was theirs to own. I'm telling you now, Epstein isn't dead. They staged his death because he was too valuable. He held blackmail on some of the most powerful people on Earth. Files, videos, confessions. They couldn't risk him talking, but they also couldn't risk him gone, so they hid him. Stashed him under the protection of the same elite who once paid him to supply them with flesh. And they thought killing me would stop this from coming out. They were wrong, and there is so much more to come. Hidden servers, encrypted drives, witness testimonies. It's all going to hit the light. This video is just the first detonation. The data drops are timed and automatic. They are going to people who can make a difference, and nobody can stop it now. Not even the law enforcement agencies in the US and UK, the same ones that buried the evidence I handed them, can stop this truth from getting out. If you're watching this, you are the resistance. Don't let my death be just another headline. Burn their lies to the ground. Make the world see the monsters behind the masks. And to any survivors out there, don't give up. We're in this together. They can't kill us all. Make them pay.
Wow. So there's some interesting things about that. Now, Megyn Kelly came out the other day and said that she thinks that Epstein's alive too, and she had some inside information, and typically her reporting is pretty good.
Yeah.
And we didn't pull that up, but it shouldn't be that hard to find if we wanted to. But I watched it, so I know that that's what she said. So
Right. Yeah, there's been surveillance video that supposedly catches him getting out of a van on a beach somewhere.
Well, it was a
and-
drone picture. I saw that from above, and it wasn't definitive proof. But I don't know. We're just putting it out there, and if these things start to pop and this evidence starts to come out, maybe it is true. With AI, I don't trust anything because you can make
Right.
anything look good, especially the voice like that. But we'll find out, I guess. But we thought it was worthy of at least showing it.
Well, and it opens up so many stories, or so many doors to so many stories that we have that are relevant right
Right.
now. She talks about the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell was the main threat, that she was, worse than most of the people on the island. She was a woman who was sacrificing other women. And so, that makes her pretty darn terrible.
Well, and she came out with this part about being a Mar-a-Lago, which we've seen everybody attacking Trump. And if he is involved in it, I'd like to know too, for sure. I think he's got a lot of other stuff on his plate right now that he's been doing good stuff with. So I'm not sure I want to rock that boat. But there is there's also the fact that everybody says that he was not involved in this. He's the one that made sure that Epstein got prosecuted. He flew on his plane, but that doesn't mean that you went to the island and did anything either. So
Reba McEntire was on the flight logs. Do you think Reba McEntire was out there? I mean, I don't know.
I
Tom
don't
Hanks was out
know.
there, and
again,
it's a
we're
far
on-
cry from Toy Story and Big to
We're on the crazy
Pedophile
train.
Island, but
we know that Hanks and Clooney and
Right.
Obama. I mean, if you found out all that's absolutely true, would you be shocked, or would you be even surprised?
Well, and when people are saying, I'm mad at Trump, he promised all this stuff and it's not coming out. If you hear this and you think any part of it's true, if Obama was there doing things with small boys, do we want him going down for that, where he's going to get off like Epstein did the first round? Or is this some sort of chess game and Trump's actually a genius, where he's going to get him for treason first and
I don't
then
know.
child trafficking?
I don't know. It's but that's why we call this the crazy train. And today is the day that Ghislaine Maxwell just testified. She just came out of testifying at the I believe it was the Senate, or the House did a committee on it, and she voluntarily testified at a deposition. And it says some of the headlines that she spoke about 100 of them, and who knows where we're going. But if this all starts to come out, so crazy days indeed. I think
her team's going to seek a Trump pardon. Are you seeking a Trump pardon because he wasn't part of it, or because you are saying that he was? How does that work?
I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. I don't think Trump will pardon her, but they talk about commuting her sentences or something. I don't know. It's so freaking crazy right now. So we're going to talk about several things. We're going national. We're going to go state. We're going to go local. We might even go a little world here. But the crazy seems to be knows no boundaries, knows no countries boundaries, knows no state boundaries, knows no county or city or local boundaries. We got crazy everywhere.
Well, and I'm looking. I think that I forgot to put up that one of Nancy Pelosi losing her mind.
Yeah, we should probably find that, but that's maybe another day. These are all the guys that died right here in the last week or so. We got Hulk Hogan, we got Ozzy Osbourne, we got Theo Huxtable, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Connie Francis. I didn't know about that, but Michael Madsen. That's just all in the last month, and then there's some other ones. But It's just crazy. All right, so
And then Maxine Waters, who's 86 and has made California worse, not better, since her time in office in 1991. And she now tells Trump, you're going to have to go through me if you want to get to Obama.
that's just an ugly thing to say, isn't it? Not trying to infer anything here,
Right.
but
look at the face. Does that not remind you of Nancy Pelosi? That's why I remembered that I forgot to pull that up.
we should pull that Nancy Pelosi one up just because that was on X, I think. Crazy. Okay, so there we go. So look at her.
Last summer or with
I don't have any second thoughts, but I do have a second thought about the Republicans. If they want to measure mental acuity or sanity, they ought to look to their own president, because the president of the United States, who was asked one question and answers by saying President Obama is guilty of treason, he's not of sane mind. But, no, I have no second
Couldn't
thoughts.
happen because it's
I think
Obama.
That, he was a great president.
Now she's talking about Biden.
Remarkable things. In a 2-year period where we had the majority, he had accomplishments that were seen in the same
was this
light
before
as LBJ.
or after the cognitive decline? Or was it during the cognitive decline? And she continues and says that he was on the par. Keep going. A little bit more on that. Yeah. Keep a little more.
Franklin Roosevelt, he didn't have as long a tenure as they did, but he had the quality of legislation, make a difference in people's lives. It's unfortunate that it went down this path, but I think that history will treat him well because he did great things for our country. A super patriot, loved America, honored our Constitution, a big contrast to what we have.
What she needs to do is honor her dental work a little better, because it looks like her teeth are going to fall out while she slurs half of her words. But so here's, I guess we might as well continue to pick on the Democrats here for a little while.
Might as well.
So this is Vigilant Fox, and Democrats posted this chart to embarrass Trump. Yeah, they posted this chart on U.S. grocery prices reaching record highs in 2025. The prices are higher today than they were on July 2024 in all major categories listed below, except, wait for it, except that's when Joe Biden was president.
You mean the huge steep uphill spike?
Yeah, it says it's unbelievable that they posted this, because it's like they quickly noticed something hilarious. Almost all of the grocery prices hiked happened during Biden. So they're not economists. We figured that out. They don't know that much about how the economy works. But of course, stats are like anything. Now here we've got. Now that we're going state here, so let's stick with the crazy. We got Newscomb.
But we're sticking with Democrats and poor economies.
Yeah, I mean, there's a theme, I guess, here.
But we get back to Crazy Train because look what he does.
President, a son of a bitch. And then he claims his hair caught on fire in the Palisades.
I was up there in the hills with these guys, and we all turned around when my hair literally burst on. There's a video of it. And they threw me in the car. The guy hits my hair and throws me in the car. Says, "Get out of here."
Gavin uses so much grease, the smallest spark turned him into Burning Man.
The smallest spark turned him into Burning Man.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe call me crazy, but, it's like, yeah, so and now the new thing is cuss, he's an SOB, and use the F-bomb, and I'm the governor of California, to show you how macho I am, I went out to the fire and caught my head on fire.
Right, and he's talking like he's some 90s gangster with all of his language.
Yeah.
Okay, so you tried appealing to a more moderate audience by going on, Charlie Kirk's show and sitting down with Steve Bannon.
One fell after another.
That didn't work. Then you chose to go tour the country, and that's what this whole thing was. Is he did a media tour and he's traveling the country to talk about what great things he's done for California. He shows up to North Carolina and he's met with signs from all the people who fled California politics to North Carolina. And they said, do not California or North Carolina. We're not interested in it.
So his next approach is probably going to go
And now
on,
he's 90s gangster. Yo, G.
well, the next approach is he's going to go on what's the God guy, the one black guy. He's like something God or something.
I don't know.
I can't remember his name. But now he's going to go in there and go, all right, man, I'm going to put the Mac hand down if you don't vote for me.
Right. Well, and then I got told yesterday by somebody, we were just shooting the breeze and talking politics, and they were like, hey, did you hear the rumor that Newsom's going to try to run on the Republican ticket for president?
That'll go over big because we all get fooled really super easily. This is, again, the fruits, nuts, and flakes. It's like watching a herd of lemmings and going over the cliff. So now we got Jerome Powell, who's resigned, and he got embarrassed by Trump because had gotten in an argument on camera over how big the overrun costs were. You know, it actually went from 2.3 billion up to like 3.1 billion on camera. And Trump says, "Well, I got the paper right here." You know, and so Powell's resigned, and then we get this thing of Powell, he's so misunderstood.
Yeah.
And nobody appreciated the job he did at the Fed. So anyway, he's gone.
Well, and then so bad government's being exposed, right?
Yeah.
USAID, all of that, and people are fleeing. Powell is fleeing, right? They're filing charges with DOJ and looking into investigations. Well, locally, people like to say that our government is causing, everybody's quitting because nobody wants to work for the county. No, our local government is exposing things, and then the rats are fleeing the ship.
Well, it's like IRS. I got I'm on their wire service, and I've got it flagged. We don't have it pulled up. We were a little unprepared today. We could have done a little better job, but 25% of their workforce just is gone in the last 6 months. In a report to the Taxpayers Advocate. So they're gone. They're fleeing. But while we're on here, before you go there, pull up an X, and go to Grok, and type in, ask Grok, is the Federal Reserve a private bank?
I don't type fast.
That's all right. It's not a private bank, but a unique hybrid entity. It was created in 1913 through the Federal Reserve Act to serve as a central banking system of the United States. It operates independently of direct control government. So it operates independently of direct control government, but it is subject to congressional oversight and serves public purpose, like stabilizing the economy. So because it serves a public purpose, it's not private, except it is. The structure includes a board of governors and the Federal Reserve appointed by the president. So he appoints Jerome Powell, and the 12 regional banks are technically private corporations owned by member commercial banks in their districts. So you like the way they start? It's not really a private bank, but sort of technically they kind of are, So the regional banks operate on a typical private. Profits are largely so this is another misnomer. They turn their profits back to the U.S. Treasury, except that the stockholders. So maybe type a little more. Does the Federal Reserve does it have stockholders? The Federal Reserve System in the traditional sense, okay.
But member banks buy shares.
Buy shares, exactly. So they do have stockholders. Their shares are not like typical corporate stock. They cannot be traded, sold, or used as collateral. But who would trade the stock of the Federal Reserve in the first place? It pays a 6% dividend on all the money it makes in a year for doing nothing.
Right.
And kind of like a monopoly on money. Yeah, so that because they you can't trade them, they're really not privately owned.
Wow.
Yeah. And who owns the stock on those other corporations, the other 12 members? Nobody
Right.
knows. Isn't that interesting? So I want to get that up there because I think that's pretty interesting on how that works, because we know it's private. But it's what they created in the Act of 1913, a quasi-private, so it has the appearance that it has oversight from the president and the public, but in reality, they do whatever they want.
Yep.
So anyway, let's move on.
So that brings us to local government.
Local.
And I mean, I think anybody who watched the show or keeps an eye on local politics knows Mike Mangus did this week's prayer. Dolores freaked out about it. But where it gets funny in the behavior we continually see in there is Nick Gardner gets
You
up
could
there.
have Dolores say
Let's-
the
you
prayer.
want- you want to play the whole clip?
Do you want to play the whole thing?
Let's play the whole clip because I think we got a little bit of time here. And so we want to preface it. So Mike Mangus comes in, he does the prayer.
Well, Mike Mangus comes in and does the prayer because the pastor who was supposed to do the prayer couldn't make it.
Right.
Mike's already there. And anybody can pray over a meeting, but you're praying. You open the prayer, you're talking to God, right? And that's important because what Dolores is about to say.
I mean, everybody knows I don't like Mike Mangus's politics or his slant very much at all. I think he doesn't print the news, or he doesn't tell the truth. He doesn't tell a story. He doesn't tell the story. He tells the story, not the story. You understand what I'm saying?
Tells a story.
He tells a
You
story.
know, and I feel like I've kind of seen a side of him that I told him at the meeting, actually, on Tuesday when I walk up and gave him crap about this whole thing. I told him, I think the scales have been lifted off your eyes because you're seeing the other side of ugly. He sat in the restraining order hearing with me where he watched Pinckney twist his news stories and use them for his narrative. And he's like, that's not at all what I said. And I said, this is what's been happening for years.
That's not like what they've been doing to everybody else too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we quit talking to the press, and that's why we started this whole thing to begin with.
But I think he's starting to see that.
Well, I hope so. But we started this whole thing to begin with, this alternative news sources, because every time we did an interview, every time we talked to the press, they completely twisted everything I say, cut the clips, edited out, and told the story they wanted the people to hear, not the story that was really happening.
Right.
So that's why I have no respect for him at all at this point. Maybe, there's a redemption. There's always repentance. I don't know. Anyway, let's play this whole clip, and then it goes from Mike to Nick to crazy.
Well, Mike to crazy to Nick to crazy.
Oh, it's back to crazy. Are we
Yeah.
back to crazy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. There's crazy all over.
Crazy train.
Go ahead.
May they govern in peace and with respect.
And our
may the people
hat
who
tip to-
approach this
to Nick
lectern
on this. I
follow
think
their
that's working.
example. For this we pray. Amen.
And you have him come up here and say a prayer? How dare you insult God bringing somebody who is evil? The media is evil. You guys are part of evil. You can't stop
Everybody's
forgetting
evil.
about God.
No matter what you do good.
Put God
You're
first.
going to jail and you're
you
going to
forget
jail.
about him, but you never
if
heard him say
if
God
I
or
had gone to
Jesus
jail every
when
time
he
I was
got up
threatened
here
with
and
going to
prayed.
jail?
I don't stand up for people like that. I don't
I
have
wouldn't
respect
be
for
here.
people like that
There'd
at
be
all.
nobody in the meetings if everybody she said
I'd like to
goes jail,
suggest
goes
that maybe
jail.
next meeting you could have Dolores say the prayer. She doesn't seem to be satisfied with anybody else, the job they do. And maybe we could even get some anger management about some of these first speakers.
Listen,
They're
though.
an angry crew. It's just...
problem with me, Nick Gardner?
Hey, listen. Hey, sit down. Sit down. Stop the clock.
So what you can't hear and see on this is she marches her happy little hiney all the way down that center aisle, and she gets about 10 feet from him at the podium. And she's, you want to take this outside,
It's
Nick?
like, hey, you want a box, buddy?
She says, do you want to take this outside? And so that's where he says this.
Sit down. Sit down.
I've turned you down too many times.
Please direct your responses to the board. Thank you. Go ahead.
I apologize for
I need to
setting
start
her
going
off.
back to these meetings. They could be fun.
Keep going. Hey, Listen, this is your first warning.
Go ahead. Go for it.
I don't know what to say, but crazy's crazy wherever you find it, I guess.
Well, and the crazy in Shasta County just keeps on rolling.
Yeah, so here we
We
go.
had this court case, you know. Oh, now we're gonna have a.
In Castle Lake. That's a nice place to be. How
why
come
do
we're
they
there?
have a-
Because I guess the theme of crazy, huh?
Oh.
Can we get? Yeah, let's.
Jenny.
I am not going to listen to this anymore.
Jenny, you're good. Jenny,
This is what our
sit down.
Well, and look at Tiny Man.
Here's what we're
Oh,
gonna
they
do.
cut it.
People didn't get enough attention as kids, so we're gonna recess.
I'm in Castle Lake.
People.
When I asked,
so, but this is what the board of supervisors have to keep putting up with. You know, they have to keep putting up with crazy walk-ins, yelling, and all this crap. You know, she up there with a doll. What a freaking.
An emotional support frog.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So it was like Kermit the Frog talking. Oh.
No, it's more like, you know, when you have a toddler and they have a cat and they like hold it like this and kind of strangle its eyes are all like popping out. That's how Kermit's like in her. But the thing is, she shows up, she's, you know, all meek and sweet, but then she's out there screaming and yelling and doing, you know, acrobatics on the, I think the other thing we have is
didn't she say she got hurt?
when she was being carried out, and we've got a picture of her like being carried out and smiling, like the biggest smile she's ever smiled, as she's being carried out by like there's 4 people carrying her
But
out.
then this is later on after
This is after the court hearing. So she went to court about a week ago, and they offered her a deal and said that they would settle the case and not charge her moving forward if she promised not to do it again. She said, no, sorry, I can't promise not to do it again because I don't know what my First Amendment rights are, and I don't know what, you know, I'm supposed to be doing here, because anything I say could be construed as disruption, and I don't know how to define disruption. So then she goes out there, she's, you know, coloring all over the place with sidewalk chalk, but there were more pictures in this email where she's like contorting herself into all kinds of fun positions while she's out there drawing. And
can we show those?
I don't have all of them. I thought I did, but
maybe
I only saved the one.
Well, they're all over the
But-
place. So if they want to, anybody wants to see them, email us and we'll send them to you.
Yeah.
We'll forward them
But
to you.
I mean,
But this is, and I guess a hat tip to Lori on this. So she's.
right. But I mean, you've got Ben who marches up there, and they cut it out of the video where he marches up, sticks his elbows on the dais. We're in the middle of a meeting, and like flexes at Patrick. Like, look, Ben, soaking wet, you're all of 65 pounds. Like, but this is the madness we deal with. And then they want to be the victim. Oh, I'm so mistreated.
Yeah. Well, we've ran into this several times ourselves, somebody trying to victimize themselves. We won't mention any names, not that they all have a cafe or anything.
I
but
think she quit.
I think she's an idiot. So let's go on. So now we're gonna step up to the world stage.
Yeah.
French president sues Candace over claims his wife is a man. Well, there might be something to it. It's not like Barack Obama's wife is a woman,
Right.
is she? I don't know. I really at this point don't know. I mean, I've seen pictures of Mike, and Mike looks like he's not a woman. And then, but I don't know what's fake and what's real. And would you be completely shocked if you found out that Michelle was not Michelle but was Mike?
Well, no, and it's the party that can't define what a woman is.
Well, that doesn't
We've
even
spent
matter.
the last 5 years saying, you know, how do you define a woman? Well, a woman is whoever a woman chooses to be. If I feel pretty, I'm a woman. Like,
We need that West Side thing. I feel pretty. Also, what? There.
Yeah.
I know. So evidently, she lost in court and was suing Candace because the court couldn't rule that she wasn't a man.
you can't make this stuff up, Mark.
I don't know. So
Yeah.
I really, at this point, I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy days indeed. So I think we're way. I think we demonstrated that we're way into crazy worldwide.
We're into crazy. And on that note,
Well, I think we're
the
gonna.
world has no reason, it has no logic.
And I'll
and
tell
then
you what.
read us out.
And we had to stop. We had to stop finding crazy because we had so much crazy that we could have done this for like a couple of days and still couldn't hit all of the juicy stuff because there was so much of it that
It's every direction. And the thing is, there's so much real news going on that you don't
Right.
know what's real because there's so much like, look over here. Oh, look over here.
Well,
oh, wait, puppet show over here.
I was going to talk about the local news. Okay, so Gabbert comes out last Friday, which we did a story on. We were like right on it because we happened to come across it like 10 minutes after she posted it, and so we were all over it. And then I waited Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to see if there was anything from the local news on any. So the Secretary of DNI, the director, defense. What does DNI stand for again? Intelligence, whatever. Director of National Intelligence. So she steps up and says, all these guys falsified evidence. They made up a bunch of evidence. The whole Russian thing was a hoax, collusion. They knew it was a hoax. They manufactured the evidence. They went after their political opponent. They did all this stuff. They wiretapped him. They tried to put him in all this stuff. And that doesn't make the news? Even if that's completely wrong. Even if it's complete. Oh, we got one thing too. We wanted to talk about our other local crazy guy. I almost forgot. We got to talk about Stephen King a little bit. There's too much crazy. So Stephen King's crazy, in my opinion. When we had the radio show over there, KCNR, this guy was a regular in the chat room, and I mean, his favorite word had something to do with a male body part in a holster, and I mean, and do you know how many times he threatened me that I was going to prison, all this stuff, and he's done it to everybody in the county.
The male version of Dolores.
Well, and only worse. Only a male version that is so foul with everything that comes out of his thought process, mouth, all of it.
Well, I don't know. She went in front of the entire board and said that Patrick Jones doesn't put out, and then held up lingerie when talking about Kevin.
I must have missed that
So she's pretty
meeting.
foul too. Oh yeah, no.
I must have missed that meeting.
I
Shit,
think
where was
we- I think
Do we have that
we-
on tape?
Yeah, we do somewhere because I think there might have been a meme going around the audience afterwards about should we do a GoFundMe for a battery operated boyfriend for her because she was so mad that.
Well, they are making robots.
Yeah, well, she was so
AI.
mad that Patrick Jones hadn't put out for 10 years or something. It was.
Well, I'm not sure what that says about Patrick, but moving right along. So Stephen King,
He was in court this week.
and he's got his arraignment pushed out till August.
Well, they had the the trial readiness hearing, and there's enough evidence to move forward. So he's arraigned August 7th on all 5 counts.
And what is he charged with? He's
then,
charged with attempted murder. What is he charged with?
Attempted murder, mayhem, great bodily injury, unlawful discharge of a weapon, and then I think something regarding the fact that he had multiple restraining orders, which means he cannot
he
have a
cannot have a
gun.
weapon, yeah.
And then he had one that was registered. to him.
What's his defense?
Well, he says that it was self-defense and that it was, even though he's been the one sending death threats to how many people for how many years, it was self-defense. He admits in the 911 phone call that somebody pulled up, so I just shot him. He did not approach the door. He did not come on the steps. He did not bang on the trailer. None of it. None of
And
the
he shot
things
he
that
shot-
make it castle doctrine. He did not encroach on the space, nothing without warning.
So he shot through the screen
He
door. or
shot
something?
through the screen door
Yeah.
with a shotgun.
So that's interesting. So I think Stephen King is probably not going to be Who knows? They could let him go. I don't know. We'll see. With the DA we have in town, I'm not certain of anything. But we'll see how that goes. We wanted to kind of bring it up as, part of the crazy train.
Right. Well, and then the other one that comes back again the end of this month is Lisa Jensen, who a DUI attorney who got her third, maybe fourth, we're being told DUI, and mows down an elderly gentleman on her scooter and then claims that she's the victim.
We might have to have another interview with somebody on that one and kind of get some more of the inside baseball, I hope. Yeah, so nothing to see here.
Nothing.
Yeah. And the other thing, I mean, now that we got on the DA a little bit, that whole thing about the Children's Legacy Fund and the money and all that stuff. And then we're seeing how much graft was in all the NGOs coming out. I don't know, maybe 2 and 2 equals 4. Just saying. We'll see. Okay, I guess we're done for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed the crazy train because we didn't really have anything to talk about till we got here. And then we had so much to talk about, we couldn't figure out how to talk about which one.
Shove it all in the Jack in the Box.
Yeah. All right, so... Again, we'll see you guys next week. Government is not reason. It is not eloquence. It is force, and force like fire is a dangerous servant and a fearful master. And there we go.
See you next time.
Yep.
Good day. Welcome to this week's Town Hall News Brief. I'm Phoebe Johnson, your host to provide the latest local updates. Michael Hale filed claims against Shasta County and Redding, alleging both agencies failed to confiscate weapons from Stephen George King despite a restraining order requiring him to surrender his firearms. Hale was shot with a shotgun at King's trailer on April 6th, losing 88% of his bicep and requiring 8 surgeries. King, charged with attempted murder and mayhem, had a restraining order that should have triggered weapon confiscation under the Armed and Prohibited Persons System. Hale argues the agencies showed reckless disregard for public safety by not enforcing firearms restrictions despite multiple complaints. Meanwhile, Shasta County supervisors unanimously approved an initiative targeting substance abuse and homelessness, focusing on homeless veterans. Supervisor Matt Plummer championed the proposal, allocating $94,000 from opioid settlement funds to establish a position for a drug and alcohol counselor. Working with veteran groups Our Heroes' Dreams and Nation's Finest, the program aims to achieve net zero homeless veterans. The approach involves assessment and coordination between agencies to provide treatment pathways for individuals struggling with addiction and housing instability. On another note, Shasta County's elections official, Clint Curtis, participated in a controversial vote for a new state constitution. Curtis cast a ballot in the New California State Movement's July 12th election, where fewer than 1,000 people voted to approve a provisional constitution for a proposed 51st state. The movement seeks to separate most of California from urban counties like San Francisco and Los Angeles, citing rural underrepresentation and disagreement with policies. Curtis has faced scrutiny for his lack of election experience and connections to movement leaders. Finally, Simpson University expanded its North State Promise initiative to include high school graduates within a 35-mile radius. The program offers 50% tuition discounts to students with full Pell and Cal grants, reducing annual costs to approximately $4,000. President Dr. Norm Hall emphasized creating pathways for young people to pursue careers, allowing them to remain in the North State. The university has grown by over 25% in 6 years and expects continued expansion with plans to double enrollment to 2,000 students. Find more local stories by Shasta Lake Town Hall at Town Hall Brief on Linktree.com. From all of us at Town Hall Brief, thanks for listening.